Hey everybody, Backpack Hack here, coming at you with another trail tip, and I want to introduce you to a couple pieces of EDC gear that I never carry. I know what you're thinking. EDC equipment that he doesn't carry? What's the point? Okay, to be fair, it's not that I never carry it, it's that I rarely carry it. Now if you watch this video up here on my EDC gear, you'll know that I have a Kearshaw Black Gulch. It is a lockback folder, and I've had this for, I don't know, 20 years. That is my EDC knife. For a multi-tool, I have an original. This dates back to the 1980s. This is a Leatherman Pst, and this is one of the originals. It's not one of the modern reproductions. I got this probably back in the 80s, so it's over 40 years old. Just shows you when you buy quality equipment and you take care of it, it will last you a really long time. However, there are going to be some times that I cannot carry either this knife or this multi-tool places simply because they have a blade on them. Now, I'm talking about flying. Now I'm only going to be discussing domestic flights here in the United States. I've never traveled overseas, let alone on an airplane, and so this only applies to within the United States, only domestic flights in the United States. So how do you travel with a multi-tool and a pocket knife on your person? Yeah, you could put it in your check-in baggage and take it with you, but how do you travel it with you? How do you travel with it on your person? That's a little bit tricky. Now, there are a lot of companies that make tools like this Night Eyes that are specifically designed to be EDC and they're TSA approved, but there is no blade on this. I'd be hard-pressed to even cut a piece of paper with this. I might be able to open a box if it's got the tape, if it's taped shut, I'd cut it on a seam, but to me this is just too small. I want something that I can get my hands on. So how do I travel with a knife and a multi-tool? As for a knife, I want to introduce you to the Gerber Eab. I couldn't tell you right offhand what EAB stands for, but the nice thing about this is a fully stainless steel knife, and it is a folder, it is a lockback, but the nice thing is it takes a standard utility blade that you buy in any hardware store that slides right in there. And the nice thing about this is if you're going on a trip somewhere on an airplane, you can take the blade out of this thing, leave the blade at home, travel with the body, and when you get to your destination, simply pick up a package of blades at the hardware store. Heck, you could probably even find them at the grocery store for that matter. Put a blade in it. Now you've got a blade for your whatever you're doing at your destination. When you get done, you simply take the blade out, give it to somebody, or toss it away, and go home with just the body and put your original blade back in. And that's the nice thing about it, is you never have to sharpen that knife, you just buy a new blade for it. And these things are not all that expensive. Now, I'm not going to be doing a review of this. This is just an overview of the two things that I use for air travel. As for a multi-tool, this is a Gerber MP600, and it is a one-handed tool. If I can get it just the right spot, you can open it up with one hand, and it is a multi-tool, really on par with my Leatherman. It is a full-size tool, which I really like. I can't imagine using a really teeny tiny pair of pliers. This has the advantage of there is no sharp blade like this or what this has in it. The closest thing it has to a blade, it does have a holder for a jigsaw or saber saw blade, and you can replace this. You can see it's in there a little bit loose. There is a little bit of wiggle room here, and you can actually take that blade out and leave it at home, and now you can carry this onto an airline, at least in the United States, for domestic travel. I should know because I have traveled at least once. I had to fly clear across country to a funeral, and I flew with both of these, both out and back, with no issues. So I just thought I'd let you know that that's what I use, and I have these sitting at home. If I ever have to get on an airplane again, I have them. They're also backups should I ever lose. I hate to think what happens if I lost this or this, because they're both discontinued and they're harder and harder to find. So this is Backpack Hack coming at you with this trail tip. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share my videos, and be safe out there, and I'll see you out on the trail.